We've taken a look at quite a few different Pandora Box products in the past, mostly like those 2-player arcade sticks that have one of these built into it. But these exist as well, where it's just like a little box. It's a console that you could plug into a TV monitor, or one of the popular things with it before was putting it into an actual arcade machine, as it does have the connections for the different harnesses and whatnot for your controllers, that kind of thing. And I think these are fairly popular with a lot of people, mainly due to price point. Myself personally, not my preferred way to play, and I really have had a lot of little issues with these types of things in the past. But the reason we're looking at this one today is that this company, Arcade, they hit me up a while ago saying, hey, we've hacked the Pandora Box DX. We've customized it, we've done certain things, made some improvements to the system, and we'd like to send you one to check out. So that's where we're at today. We're gonna be taking a look at this thing. But yeah, it's just your standard Pandora Box DX. You got HDMI, VGA, a volume slider, settings button, 3 USB ports, and then all your connections on there. You can take this off and take a look on the inside, but that's not really the focus of the video today. But in case you wanted to look, we do have micro SD card up there, Pandora Box, the revision, all that good stuff. But yeah, this company, they sent me a few things actually that we're gonna take a look at in another video. They actually made this game for the NES. This is an NES cartridge. And I did notice it's actually on the list of games here. So they've added their NES game that they made to this Pandora Box. So that's cool. But yeah, we'll check this stuff out. They sent like a little papercraft arcade machine, some other things. We'll look at that in another video. Today we're focusing on this. But I just want to go through some things real quick. So we do have a settings button on the back, which is fairly typical. If we hit that, it'll take us to the settings menu, obviously. So you have a few things. You could customize the buttons, and this is my one problem with Pandora Box systems, is there's not usually, from what I've seen, button customization per game. So what is typically the best way I try to do it is I'll go into like the I/O test here, where they have where you could press all the buttons and whatnot, and then figure out what they're assigned to on whatever controller you're using. And then I will like sketch it out and then figure out how I want to play a 6-button arcade game. So I'll set the layout to Street Fighter as an example. And usually that'll be fine for most things. You may still find a couple games here and there that configuration just does not work with, or just the way the game is set up. So yeah, that's my one criticism with all of these that I've used is, you know, I would prefer to customize per game or have that option. But to keep going here, we do have system configs. If we go in there, we'll have some basic stuff. You could change free play or actually charge people. If you have this in an arcade machine hooked up to a coin acceptor, charge people to play these Soulja Boy'd up games, right? Just different options, how to exit the game. Quality optimization, I think, is booty. If it's on, everything is blurry and smoothed out. I don't like it. They also have on here a scanline effect, and then just some gamepad settings to change between arcade sticks or, 4 players, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's basically it here. Save settings and then factory reset. So not a lot that you could really do in the settings, but just a handful of things you can mess with there. Now, with this setup, there's a few things I'm seeing here that it looks cool. The UI that they made here, they customized it. I think they said it's like a cyberpunk-ish theme. It looks okay, but here we have 502 pages of games. So I'm imagining, as I have scrolled through, there's a lot of duplicates and like bootleg versions, stuff like that. So I'm thinking maybe it's just a couple thousand added on that are like variants of sorts, maybe it's just 3,000 straight up single versions of games. Not really sure. It's really hard to tell, but like you'll see, you have multiple versions of Cadillac's Dinosaur Lobster, Dinosaur Weapon. They seem like hacks or something. Tell you how many players they are, that kind of thing. But yeah, we can't go through all 5,000 games. And as you see, here's the one thing. I kind of find it weird. Like there's a lot of games that are marked 3D, and some of them just are not 3D. Let's go back to page 1. Like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Those are not 3D games, but they're marked as 3D. Now, if you hit the function button, there's no like organizing games by console or just arcade. It's just by genre. So what I've noticed is there's a lot of arcade games on here. There's PlayStation games. All the 3D games are PlayStation 1 games. There's no 3D arcade games that I have seen anyway. But yeah, just a basic search function or genre organization. That is pretty much it. Not a lot going on with that. But for example, let's jump into the NES game that they made. And I want to show you the one thing that they told me is a big thing that they've done. And it's an automatic switch. So they told me they incorporated this where it's just a controller switch where you hit start and B and then it just instantly. So this is their NES game. I'm not gonna play much of this because I want to play it on the actual NES, but okay, yeah, this is an NES game and I'm seeing some jitteriness, some slight screen tearing. Not a very smooth experience with this emulation for NES. It does seem a little jerky. I don't think the game is going to play that way on the actual NES, but we will find out later. But yeah, it doesn't seem bad, but I do notice this little, like, it's tearing a little bit. But okay, we hit select. We can bring up this menu, continue, save state, load state, or exit. So let's exit. So I think the biggest thing here that they've done is that 4:3 aspect ratio instant, boom. And it just, that's cool. Because I don't think I've seen that. Like I've always had to, oh wow, the volume was a little loud there. A lot of times these Mortal Kombat games, these Midway games, like the volume will be real freaking low. Oh, that's the block. Okay, I just don't know the buttons, especially for Mortal Kombat here with this layout. But this looks pretty good. But let's check out another game. This doesn't have any save states or anything. Okay, so this is PlayStation version. It appears, and whatever the rip that they used or the emulation, which you don't have, like, you know, it's not like RetroArch where you can really manipulate things. We don't have any music or anything. I noticed that in the beginning. So yeah, missing the CD soundtrack. Then we have a buttload of Street Fighter games. A literal buttload. Holy crap. A lot of hacks. A lot of hacks. How many versions of Street Fighter 2 do we need? Like 30. What is this? King of Fighters 98 Hot. I don't know why this is the hot version. I guess maybe because it's hot. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with every ROM hack or bootleg version of Neo Geo games, but I mean, this is running okay, and I'm glad that it's not stretched. But we can put it back to full screen just that quick. And that's it. Okay, so let's wrap this up, give you guys my final thoughts. As I did play a bunch more of this, especially all the PlayStation 1 games, after I recorded the On the Table review section of this video. And I didn't really find any issues with performance. It seemed like everything I played ran, so there wasn't that issue at all. Now, some of the PlayStation games were missing audio, but most of them had that CD soundtrack, so okay, that's one thing there. Everything else ran just fine, but is this something I would buy for myself? And the answer is no, as I do still feel this is a messy ROM dump of a setup, in my opinion. Now, Arcade doing the customizations and, you know, adding that 4:3 aspect ratio switch with the button commands, that's great. That's great. I like what they've done here, but I just feel it's not enough. It's just not enough. There's no organization here. It's not easy to just get controls set up. You have very limited options. And I feel that there's other devices out there that can accomplish what this does and works better for me personally. For you, hey, maybe you'll be interested in something like this, but I'm just sharing my own thoughts, my opinions. Not a product that really impressed me, being honest. Thanks for watching. Bye.